Hello there. Today, we will introduce a very important concept, transaction cost economics. This is first introduced by Nobel Prize laureate Ronald Coase in his masterpiece, The Nature of the Firm. Coase raised the question, if the market is efficient, why are so many economic activities take place within integrated firms? He concluded that there must be some cost of using market and eliminated when producing in-house. The follow-up researches collect this kind of cost are transaction costs. Transaction cost is especially large with the incompleteness of contract. Another Nobel Prize winner, Oliver Williamson, summarized in his book, The Economics Institution of Capitalism. Transaction costs include the time and expense of negotiating, writing, and enforcing contracts, as well as potentially far greater costs that arise when firms seek private gain at the expense of the relationship. To explain this problem, we introduce three concepts: relationship-specific assets, quasi-rent, and hold-up sequentially. A relationship-specific asset is an asset usually invested when the relationship of the trading parties begins, that supports a given transaction, and cannot be deployed to another transaction without sacrifice in productivity or additional cost. That is, you want to use this relationship-specific asset to produce for other firms, pay some money to modify as needed. There are four types of relationship specification. First, size specify. You should invest new factory nearby your partners. There are abundant examples of the suppliers of Foxconn in Longhua Center. Second, physical asset specificity. There are some physical properties of the asset. For example, the production of glass container for a particular model need a particular design of glass making machine. Third, dedicated asset. Sometimes the asset is dedicated to used for that particular transaction. Without permissions of the trading partner, it is not allowed to use in producing for other firms, although, for example, it might be a general purpose machine. Fourth, human asset specificity. It refers to cases in which a worker or group of workers has acquired skills, know-how, and information that are more valuable inside a particular relationship than outside it. For example, your company uses special software for their office documentations. The skills of using this software cannot apply easily on some other office suite like Microsoft Office. The investment in this relationship-specific asset transforms the bargaining position from large number into small number. That is, you have to negotiate with this contracting relationship. It is called the fundamental transformation by Williamson. The second concept relates with transaction cost is quasi-rent. Let's see what is rent and what is quasi-rent. We briefly outline the contracting process of the relationship we mentioned above. Suppose you are a supplier of cup holder for Ford Automobile. You are negotiating on the providing of 1 million cup holders. After signing the contract, you should build a plant that produces the particular model of cup holder for Ford. After that, the production begins. If Ford chooses to follow the contract, he will buy 1 million cup holders from you. If Ford, for some reason, chooses to break the contract and want to renegotiate with you, you could choose to renegotiate with Ford or seek the outside opportunities to sell the cup holders. Let's see a numerical example. Suppose the investment of Ford's cup holder costs you I dollars annually, then the unit cost of each cup holder is C. Suppose you can find a jobber who will modify your cup holder and sell it. The price of each cup holder for a job is PM. We rule out the uninteresting case that market price PM is smaller than the variable cost C, which the firm will always choose not to produce the cup holders as long as this makes the factory idle. So you will sell the product to the jobber if you had no other option. Your total cost of making 1 million cup holders is thus I plus 1 million times C dollars per year. If you sell to the jobber, there are costs of relationship-specific investment, RSI, that could not be recovered. The RSI is I minus 1 million times PM minus C. We assume RSI is positive, so selling to Ford is favorable one. If you and Ford set the transaction price as P star, then the revenue of selling to Ford is 1 million times P star minus C, and the profit is therefore revenue minus I. Also, we assume profit of selling to Ford is positive. That is, I smaller than 1 million times P star minus C. So your rent when the contract was implemented equals to the profit of selling to Ford. Suppose after the factory is built, Ford breaks the contract and you want to sell to the jobber to earn 1 million times PM minus C, which is positive. The quasi-rent is the profit difference between selling the product to Ford and the jobber, which is 1 million times P star minus C minus I minus 1 million times PM minus C minus I, and therefore 1 million times P star minus PM. Your quasi-rent is the extra profit that you get if the deal goes ahead as planned, versus the profit you would get if you had to turn to your next best alternative. Why we need to calculate the quasi-rent? This is because if the asset is not relationship specific, you can sell the product to the market with same price. Then there is no quasi-rent. Relationship-specific assets induce quasi-rent. Quasi-rent makes Ford can take advantage on you. To see how, Ford could postpone the production of car and renegotiate the supply price with you. This is called the hold-up problem. Ford can propose a price between the market price and the contracting price to earn more profit for itself. For example, suppose the contracting price P star is $12, the market resale price is $4, and the production cost is $3 per unit. The annual investment cost is $8,500,000. Ford may propose $8 when renegotiation. It is better to accept for you as the investment cost is sunk when renegotiation. In this case, your profit is 8 minus 3 times 1 million minus 8,500,000, which is negative $3,500,000. You lost money on your investment of the factory. In fact, if you did anticipate this case, you will be reluctant to invest in the factory. This case will happen as long as the rent is small and the quasi-rent is large, or the relationship-specific asset is quite costly, which 8,500,000 in this case is 13 times of the rent. This kind of hold-up is due to ex-ante relationship investment. Oliver Hart, the third Nobel winner in our discussion of transaction cost, proposed that exposed cooperation, that sharing of information about production and marketing will also induce the hold-up problems. The hold-up problem induces higher transaction costs in the following 4 ways. First, the contracting parties will pay more money and time on the negotiation of the contract, and want to put more clauses as safeguard in the contract. Also, the exposed renegotiation will be more likely to lead frequently renegotiation, and during the time of renegotiation, the production will be delayed. Second, the contracting parties may want to invest to enhance their bargaining position. They may seek more outside sources like second supplier or acquire a standby production facility, so that broaden the outside options. Third, distrust rises the cost in 2 ways. First, distrusted parties need more time on negotiation of the contract and put more safeguards in the contract. Second, they may be refused to share information and ideas to achieve more efficient of entire vertical chain. Finally, hold-up reduce the ex-ante incentives to invest in the relationship-specific assets. The influence in investment may induce the cost of production due to the capacity or more specialized plan may not optimally built. The reasoning of hold-up problem is complex and subtle. Let's review the line of argument. A relationship-specific asset is an asset that supports a particular transaction. Redeploying a relationship-specific asset reduces its productivity or entails extra costs. A relationship-specific asset gives rise to quasi-rent. A quasi-rent is a transaction with relationship-specific assets equals the extra profit a firm gets when it deploys its relationship-specific assets in their intended use, and the transaction goes ahead as planned, as opposed to deploying those assets in their best alternative use. When a party has quasi-rents, it can be held up by its trading partner. When this happens, the trading partner transfers some of the quasi-rents to itself. Hold-up is especially tempting when contracts are highly incomplete, so that proving branch of contracts is difficult. The potential for hold-up raises the cost of market transaction by making contracts negotiations more contentious, by inducing parties to invest in safeguards to improve post-contractual bargaining position, by engaging distrust, and by leading to underinvestment in relationship-specific assets. The make or buy decision involves a series of costs and benefit analysis. A manager can easily get lost in the complexity of this balancing process. Figure 3.3 provides an issue tree by asking a series of questions to guide the decision-making. The manager must first assess whether the market provides any alternative to vertical integration. If the answer is no, then the firm must either take on the task itself or prop up a quasi-independent supplier through a joint venture or strategic alliance, which are described in the next chapter. If the market does offer alternatives to vertical integration, then the manager must determine whether market relationships will be impeded by information, coordination, or hold-up problems. If such problems do not exist, then the firm should use the market. But if they do exist, the manager must finally determine whether these problems can be prevented either through contract, favoring the use of the market, or through internal governance, favoring integration. Next chapter, we will dig more deeper into the integration. We will try to answer what exactly does it mean to be integrated. How does integration eliminate hold-up and coordination problems? How should one weight the benefits and the costs of make versus buy? Are there alternatives to extreme of make or buy? See you then.